In the previous section, we quickly looked at arrays. We looked at how to use variables and some names. There are a few things that you'll look at in the show notes, such as how to properly name variables and a bunch of stuff like that. Now, I'm going to show you how to work with JavaScript files. So we have our page from before when we open our link. So many times, JavaScript files could be written in two places. JavaScript files can be put in your head section of your page, your web page, or they could be put just before the closing tag, the closing body tag. And that's the convention we shall use most of the time to include our JavaScript. And we shall do that using the script tag. And the script tag has a source keyword, and we're going to create a file, a JavaScript file. Let's just call it app.js. That's it. When I try to refresh my page, nothing, of course, fancy happens when I click inspect element. Notice this, when I go to your console, there'll be something that says fail to load resource. The server responded with a status of 404, not found. And notice what's here. We're trying to get app.js, but it's not there. It doesn't exist. So let's go about creating that. And using some quick dev tools, your knowledge of the command prompt, we can quickly create a file, app.js. And let's head over to that. Notice there's a new addition in our sidebar, app.js, and it's an empty file. When I refresh, I shouldn't get that error anymore. Let's quickly print out something. Let's quickly print out console log hello world, and I'm gonna quickly increase the font so that you can be able to see what I'm typing. When I refresh, our hello world shows up. Yay, nothing fancy. There are a few concepts we should look at in JavaScript. One good concept is the concept behind something called an object. What is an object? We can store a bunch of things inside objects. And objects in JavaScript are defined in several ways. Well, let's define a person object. In other words, what a person is. A person can take a name and perhaps age and maybe location. Suppose we are spies and we're just trying to know where this person is found. And we could use a special keyword called this, and then say this name equals name. This, in this case, is what we call a local variable. It only shows up when you create a person in the future. You'll kind of notice that we as programmers love designing stuff that we later on reuse. And the manifestations that we use are known as objects or instances. Well, the term is loosely applied here. Many times people use them interchangeably. Let's finish up. This.h location. Sweet. So I'm going to save that and head over to my dev tools. Nothing happens, of course. And when I begin to type person, that's what I get. A function, person, name, age, location, and yada, yada, yada. So let's create a person out of that person. And the way we use this function, this object, is by first instantiating a name, such as, let's see, Danielle equals person, Danielle being the first name, and I'm just going to guess maybe about 30 years old, and perhaps located in the US of A. Good. Well, okay, so we do have a simple error that was shown. Anyways, let's do that from within here. Var Danielle person Danielle age 30, located in the US of A. Let me close that person, and go to here, the index, click the live editor, and check the dev tools, and use the variable itself, Daniel. Let's use it, Daniel. Notice what you get. You get a nice object. Now, you may wonder, how do we access these values? We could do the following. We could do Daniel.name. We could also do Daniel name. So there are two styles which we can use to access elements or properties inside an object. And then we could use the location, USLA. Now that's not helpful. We usually don't want to just play around with the console all the time. So let's create some kind of nice function, log, that says, hey log, it says my name is, you're going to do something interesting here. We are going to play with something called interpolation, the adding of things together. And we're going to add Daniel's name, and we're going to space it out. I am from, well, it's not correct grammatically, but this should help us do something. And Daniel dot location, and plus okay, let's just keep it simple. Save that. We'll refresh our page here. Do you see that? Hi, my name is Daniel. I'm from the USA. So sometimes our console can be used for quick debugging, for quick playing around with games. Wouldn't this be nicer if I could, instead of having to rename some new people all the time, copy paste, perhaps change this to Victor? Isn't there a way I could design something that could do this all for me? Without me having to retype all this, log my name is plus Victor dot name. You can see how tired I'm getting from this. I'm from plus Victor dot location. Yeah, may refresh, blah blah blah. Now imagine I want to do this for like 100 more people. I mean, that would be very tiresome, right? There is a way, and that brings us to designing what we call functions. The syntax of the design is kind of similar to the way we did things here, with a slight little twist. Now, we can say, create a function that's called where from, and that takes in arguments. It takes in a person, which is an object, and all it does is some stuff here. I'll just copy and paste, and instead of using Daniel, I'll change that to person, and do the same for here, person. And what I'll have to do now is instead use the function I defined in these two lines as follows. I'll just pass in Victor and pass in Daniel in the next line as the argument. So what are functions? Functions are pieces of code that do things. They do a bunch of stuff. Functions expect input, or the things that we pass into. In this case, the input was person. And usually they'll give some kind of output. So just to make this a little bit clear, I'm going to delete this, keep it simple. Perhaps rearrange this, maybe put it on the top, do a bit of cleanup, and refresh. Same result, only that it's a little bit classier and I don't have to write too much. You may wonder, what happens if I just did everything like this and did that? Can you guess what could happen? Let me change this to Jamaica. Rastaman. Rastaman is about 22 years old. So when I refresh, Rastaman was formed here, right? From Jamaica. So it is possible to have functions take in objects or instances of objects. And these are some things that you usually work with a lot. There are a bunch of other concepts that you will be introduced to from time to time as you work through your JavaScript. Well, I hope this quick primer towards writing of functions and objects was helpful. Thank you.